And I'm joined with Jess Games here. Sadly, Minty has been unable to make it. Sadly, I don't actually know the reasons, but hopefully he'll be back next week. So say hello, Jess.
Good evening, Brett. Good evening, everybody. And we are here at Spa-Francorchamps tonight for round 3 in Belgium, where it's changed quite a lot since its time, especially since 1950 when it was first did a race here as well. It's also one of only 2 tracks that is featured in every single One Hub racing season since season 2. The other track being Silverstone.
Well, I mean, Jess, with all the facts here. Well, I mean. That's one of the things with Spa. It's such a legendary circuit. I don't know people that don't really like this circuit. It's loved by everyone that plays the games and even just all the fans that watch F1 in general. So we'll hope we'll get a very nice race out of tonight, as we usually do. Lots of overtaking places, such as the daring Rouge, but I mean, hopefully we don't see any crashes up there. Turn 1 as well, and bus stop is the heaviest braking section in the circuit, so that will be a good place to dive bomb if anyone's willing to, similar to me last season.
Yeah, and similar. Oh, I didn't do any dive bomb last season. I actually raced last season in the Podium tier, and it was a lot of fun actually. That was where I got my first points, first top 10 finish of the season, and it's where Riley Byes, who is in the lobby at the moment, got his first win in One Hub history in Belgium, where he actually did a really great strategy where there was 2 safety cars and he completely nailed it. He started last on the grid and then went all the way to finish P1. Louis is the only one that's won twice. Riley is looking to be one of the guys to add to those win total tonight in Belgium.
Well, Riley Byes last season, obviously you're saying, winning the race, Rich 500 behind him, and Le Hoffner in third. So we're going to see if they can maybe repeat the same or even improve from last season's results. But I mean, from your knowledge of this season, obviously you've not been with us from round 1, but who do you think is gonna win tonight?
I really don't know. I mean, Chris and Scorpion have been looking very strong all season in the Mercedes. They are 1 and 2 in the drivers, and obviously they're leading the constructors, just like most tiers at One Hub Racing. Mercedes have got a big points haul basically in pretty much all the tiers, and out of all 4 tiers, the lead of the Drivers' Championship is also leading the constructors. And Mercedes, in fact, is just 74 points across all tiers away from being the first team to score 6,000 points in their One Hub Racing history. And there's also some other drivers who I think might do well here as well. Peter Parker, who got his first podium of the season after having a season off as well. And it'll be interesting to see what Zeppadoodle can do. He DNF'd last week, so after that horrible crash, I can't remember what turn it was, but yeah, I hope he has a good result tonight because he deserves it.
Well, I'm currently just trying to get the current standings up tonight. Not sure, I was going to the website. But first, decide to thank Next Level Racing, our sponsors, and always forgetting I need to change this. I can't find them. Why? Why?
You can't find the standings?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But thanking Next Level Racing for giving us basically rigs and potential rigs, but wheel stands for our championship winners. It's just a big kind of thing to play for at the end of the day, and I mean, it just makes the drivers want to push that much harder.
Yeah, exactly. As the going gets tougher, was that most of these drivers can win a rig from this season. So basically, they've got to finish outside the top 3, and they've got to complete every single post-race and pre-race interviews of the season, and obviously attend every race. And if you don't attend every race, you won't be able to win a lovely rig, and it'll be drawn at the end of the season.
Okay, there we go. I've got it, Jess.
Yes. Well done.
I mean, the website's different, I swear. I was really confused there.
I do believe if I look at the standings as well, we've got Chris is still leading after his win in I can't remember what track it was in the first round. Oh, yeah. And then in third place in France last week. Then we got Scorpion in second in the Mercedes with 40. They're joint points as well. That's interesting as well. But Chris, obviously, with the count back due to the fact that he's had one driver of the day, then that means he's top of the standings because they're equal apart from that. That's just crazy. Anyway, we got Peter Parker in third with 32 points. Zepper in fourth with 18 points. Con Hoffner in fifth with 14 points. Lee Hoffner in sixth on 12 points. So we got Estimate Mats in seventh. Rayman 8th. Vitinho in ninth. Catboy Key in 10th. And then we've got Pony's Channel on 5 points in 11th. Rich on 4 points with 2. Cam on 2 points with in 13th. Oh my god, look at the weather. TC in 14th place, joint with Dexter with 1 point. And Riley, OKK, Broomer, King J, and Slenderman yet to score. And do you want to take us through the constructors?
Yeah, I will do. So in first position with 80 points is Mercedes, obviously both drivers. Leading the standings, Rod on points. Racing Point in P2 with 38, only, well, I say only, but a good 42 points behind the rivals Mercedes in P1. Red Bull in P3, 8 points behind Racing Point, so that is a close battle to watch out for this race. Haas in P4 after bringing home 2 very good results from last week's race, and Ferrari following behind in 5th position. Williams P6, I mean that is something new to see. Williams usually the top constructors team of the seasons. Renault in P7, McLaren P8, AlphaTauri P9 and Alfa Romeo again with 0 points.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Alfa Romeo to get less points this season so far. Obviously Riley being in the Alfa Romeo last season as well, but I'm hoping they can step up this week. I do believe Riley's the only Alpha on there, but hopefully he can score some good points. And as you probably have noticed from the weatherman, it is raining in Belgium. Who would have thought?
Well, yeah, raining, but here's one thing I'm a bit confused about. Catboy Key and Riley Bays have opted for the intermediates.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. And these guys have got to keep an eye on their deltas when they go out of the pit lane to decide what tyres they're actually going to go on. And maybe some people think that it is the fastest tyre to be on, but I'm looking on board with Catboy Key at the moment, and there's nowhere near it's going to be intermediate conditions yet. It may be on the cusp at the moment, but we'll see when he sets his first lap, as do most of these guys. Everyone pretty much is out already, and it just goes to show that they want to get a lap out quickly. And I think it could most likely be the rain for the whole qualifying session. I'm not entirely sure what it is going to be for the race, but it's a lot of sliding going on here for most of these drivers. I've got to say, I find it quite difficult around these wet conditions as well. And we haven't had much rain in the podiums here, so this could be our first taste of it properly this season.
Well, Kong Hoffner begins his lap into turn 1 in the wets, are feeling a lot more secure compared to Riley Bay and Catboy Key's intermediate, so we'll see how they get on. But remember, you can set multiple laps with these wet tyres. Kong Hoffner now going up a rouge, now Radion, and to be honest, done that really smooth, keeping the car nice and stable. This is something I mentioned last week with both the Haas drivers. They just seem in control of the car at all time, and that's really what's getting them the results.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, consistency is key in league racing, and you want to have a teammate that's going to help you in the long run, because if you don't, then you're most likely going to have constructors' points pretty much wiped out or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. And, you know, I mean, they're the two Hoffner brothers. I'm glad Jamie did put them in a team, because otherwise it would have been hard for them to go against each other. course. I'm actually going to see what their response for the pre-race interviews. There we go. As Con Hoffner has invalidated his lap time. So, yeah, I think he does believe, though, he's going to be strongest in the race, so he's not as bothered about qualifying. And he has predicted in the chat, well, in the pre-race interviews, that he would go on an intermediate tyres if it's wet, but he's not. Oh! And he's slid, and he's in the wall, and he's broken his front wing. Hopefully he can go back to the pits to change that, because otherwise it's going to be his qualifying over. But yeah, I was speaking to him earlier on, and he's hoping to get some more points for the Haas team today. We're keeping our fingers crossed there. But yeah, that is not a good way to start a qualifying session, Con Hoffner.
Well, his teammate passing him there, Con Hoffner staying well out the way. Obviously, you don't want to interfere with your teammate's lap and your brother's lap, because I'm sure he will definitely have some words next time they see each other. But up to the line, and he will set a 1:56.9. Let's see if that's going to be the best lap of the session for now, or will someone else beat it? As I believe it is Quiz or Scorpion Hun now coming up to the line here, also on the wet tyres, and does steal that pole position for the now with a 1:56.7. So at the moment, everyone, it seems like the track's improving rapidly. Everyone's just, I'm watching, is becoming a bit more confident as there's another AlphaTauri off there. I'm gonna have a look.
KK actually, no, KK's in the pit. It's Dexter who went off a little bit there. Yeah, I think heading into Blanchimont in the wet, it's not the best. Well, it's not a good thing really. I find it hard as well. We can't really go full throttle there, so I'm guessing he was a bit too early on the power. That's what made him spin. So he's probably going to go into the pits now and get a fresh set of possibly tyres on. Nope, he's carrying on. So I'm guessing he just wants to get a lap in anyway, because it's better him staying a lap than not. So as he comes across the line now, and it's a 2:14.0, not representative at all, but I'm sure he can improve just a little bit more. I'm seeing someone else gone off. That's SD Max going in here, the bus stop chicane. I'm seeing quite a few people that were on the intermediates, Brett, going to pit onto the wets, apart from Catboy Key, that's 2 seconds slower than the full wet time.
Well, committing to that strategy, just knowing exactly when the tyre is ready, might be a good idea for Catboy Key. Still 11 minutes in the session, so it's not taking much out of his qualifying. Rich 500 goes at P6 with 58.6. So we'll see how the intermediate tyre gets on, but if it was really off the pace, we would see a lot more people in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't say on our little database how slow the inters and the full wets are compared to the dry tyres. We'll obviously talk about that a little bit in a minute as well. But yeah, I've done a few invalidations around this circuit when I was racing last season, and it was quite difficult. So we could see a few invalidations, a few penalty points as well. Track limits has really stripped on this game around here. We've seen a few people gone off. There's a yellow flag. I don't know who's that. That's just probably people moving out the way, but the track is getting very, very tricky. More people invalidating, as Coutinho was just did as well. So, yeah, I think just setting a lap could get you a good position at this point.
Well, if you go on to Zeppadoodle or Zeppa POV right now, he's right behind Dexter. He's been right behind him all lap here. Now, the problem is both of them are setting laps. As Zeppadoodle came into poo on, he lost the back end a bit. So that'll be a little bit of dirt air, but also the fact that it's going to be sliding no matter what. One of the things that rain does do though is kind of takes the dirt air down a bit as Dexter moves to the left, and Steppa still actually puts him up to third there, beating out Quest and Catboy Key. So not actually a bad lap after being behind the car for so long.
One thing I like to point out with this circuit actually is the toe is pretty much mega key around qualifying, especially when there's no DRS to manage with. I would say the straight here, the DRS straight going into Locom is quite crucial as well. You want to be working together there, and obviously going into Blanchimont as well. But Zeppa got a nice toe from Dexter, even though Dexter was not meant to do it. So that's probably given Zeppa more time than losing time. So hopefully he may help potentially his teammate maybe, or maybe they were doing it on purpose. Potentially we'll have to wait and see. We've got 9 minutes left to go of the session, as I think we've got Riley in the pit and so the KK. I think some of these guys are just watching their deltas now and seeing when's the best time to go onto another set of tyres, because in qualifying they don't have many wet tyres, they only have 2, so they don't have a lot to use in this session, so they've got to use it wisely. That means they can go on full wet for longer than a lap, because, well, it does depend if it's going to be a full wet race, we don't know yet.
Well, Scorpion Hunt really flexing his muscles as I have a voice crack. Jess, you'll find that very, well, quite an occurring theme with me. Scorpion Hunt though says 56.2, kind of being untouchable so far in this session. Let's see if Lohofner can close in the gap, or potentially his teammate.
Yeah, Lee Hoffner, one of the guys, as we said earlier, that's got a podium as well, and if he can repeat what he did last season, then that'll be fantastic. Maybe he can get one better. Don't forget he got P3 last season in the podium tier, but he benefited from those safety car situations. And speaking of Haas's engine supplier, Ferrari, they haven't had much of a good season in all the tiers. Ferrari were taken to the team's press conference, and the question was, do you, like in the real F1, also have a plan A, B, C, D, E and F? Is the team ready with the right plan for the drivers at all times? And what the team boss has just said, we had a lot of bad luck and silly incidents. We had the pace to win prospect, but we just missed it. And in other tiers, we just had messy operations, as we saw last week. But hopefully they review their strategy a little bit and look to have a more streamlined approach going forward.
Well, as you say, anything can happen. Lofner really talking about the safety cars is quite a key factor to races a lot of the time, where if somebody makes the decision to do something different and it comes out bad or worse, I feel like it can be a big point in the season where you've got to show you're ambitious at the same time as show maybe conserve and take it nice and calm, and it's finding a balance between that throughout the season and eventually finding what works best. And some people like to fight their way back up the grid and do it better than others, and I want to see what Lohofner can do.
Just like Riley did last season, maybe some people can do what Riley did and go from last to first. You never know. We've seen surprises here at One Hub Racing, and there were a few incidents with Riley and Con Costner last week in the stewards report, and the stewards likely said that it was a racing incident, no further action was required, and Riley ended up getting a 5-second time penalty to be added to the race time in France with his incident with Dexter. And there was another incident actually between Rayman and Bettino and Zappadoodle, and both instances actually were no further action. So yeah, only one penalty was added to the podium tier last week, and at least most of them are keeping it clean. As Ponage Town has retired from the session, he must have binned it somewhere, so that's his qualifying over.
Well, Rich 500 currently not the best of the Renaults. Cam is sitting in third positions with a 1 minute 57.1. So I don't know. Maybe we're going to see a little bit of a division between the Renault drivers. As I believe it's kind of I've noticed Cam he's been there, but sometimes he's not. It's kind of a bit inconsistent. Where Rich is kind of always consistently around the point kind of area. So if he can just keep his consistency up, and if Cam can actually build on that, I reckon the Renault team could be very, very strong.
Yeah, I think so as well. Remember, Rich actually started last season in the Toro Rosso, now known as the AlphaTauri, and then when he went into the Red Bull, he was very, very confident already in a team which expects more. So maybe the expectations there, he likes that bigger pressure, and obviously he's in a higher tier than last season. Technically it's still the podium tier, but the bottom tier is now the prospect tier, so technically he's moved up. So You know, he's scoring consistently. He did well in the pre-season races too around this track. So, you know, I think I do agree that the two Renault drivers are going to do well, and more importantly, score some decent points as well. More people are actually going on to the Inters. Chris in a Mercedes is doing the same. Catboy Key is committing to the Inters as well. Scorpion, I believe, is going on the Inters too. Only one person has set their best time on the... Well, two people set their best time on the Inters, and that was Catboy Key and TC. Everybody else set their best time on the four wet. And we've got 4 people yet to set a lap time at the moment. That's SD Max, Peter Parker, Riley Byes, and okay. They need to get a move on them. It looks like it's going to be one-shot qualifying for most of these guys. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of the Renault team now in 3rd and 4th, so maybe they've already made some improvements. We'll see how the session goes on with 3 minutes left to go. Who are you saying is going to get pole position?
I think, I originally, before the session started, I was like, I think it's going to be Scorpion and Chris all the way, but Chris is all the way down in 7th. Maybe he's not a big fan of those wet conditions, and don't forget, these drivers may have a different setup that is more suited to the dry. Maybe it may be a dry race, and it's not geared to the wet, so maybe that's why some people are struggling. But I'm gonna say Scorpion being like a few seconds off the pace. Wow, Zephyr goes on pole position. That is on the wets, but Scorpion's about to start his lap, but I'm still thinking Scorpion's gonna get another pole. He took the win last week in France, which I think most people were delighted about. I don't think anyone in the One Hub community that was watching this race was disappointed. I think everybody was happy. In particular, our league owner, Nick. He was delighted with joy for that one. So, yeah. Let's hope I haven't jinxed him now, but there we go. If he goes through Rouge now, and he's doing it all right. We'll see how fast he goes in set 1, see if he's faster than his wet time. He's got traffic in front of him. That's not going to be good unless those guys move out of the way, unless it's his teammate, which is not his teammate. It's Riley Byes, who's on an outlap. So I didn't see how fast he was in set 1, so I'll have a look on the TAS system. That's a quick mention, actually. We're still using the TAS system. Unfortunately, the bot is not working today for some reason. Hopefully we'll get it fixed by the position tier tonight, but usually you'll get to do exclamation mark help and it'll give you the commands, but it's not working anymore, so at the moment. Hopefully it will get fixed, but yeah, Scorpion's doing very well in his lap at the moment. Let's see if he can get pole position.
Well, as he makes his way through Puon, will he take pole position off of Zephyr? Will he prove that these intermediates are quicker? We still need to see at the end of Sector 2 whereabouts he is on the lap as he comes into the Sector 3 point, or the beginning of Sector 3, and he's down on the time.
Yep, he is. So I don't think he's going to go even quicker at the moment, but if the ints are not going to be used in the race, and he has enough ERS, which he does, he can go again, and you'll probably have much more cleaner air this time as he got held up in traffic earlier on in the lap. But we've got 1 minute left as Chris is about to start a lap, well, just started a lap as well. Zephyr's about to cross the line again. He can't go any quicker, but he's going to go on this final lap now. He's been saving ERS too. Rich's in the pits though, the only driver not to set a lap time for the final part of qualifying, so maybe it may come back to bite him, with him setting his best time on the wet side as Peter Parker goes on pole. And if I was some of these guys, maybe the Inters may potentially be the best tyre. I don't know, the conditions still remain the same, but you know, Peter Parker doing well with those green tyres to get where he needs to be right now. Can he stay there? Is the pink Mercedes doing what the Mercedes is doing? They got questioned in the team's press conference as well, saying why they're not performing like the work team, but you know, I think they're proving the doubters wrong at the moment.
Well, Peter Parker sitting in a provisional pole, and in my opinion, we've seen this last week. Peter Parker's doing some very nice laps in qualifying, and he also has it in the race pace, but the problem with his position kind of during the race, it fluctuates as he tries to catch the driver in front. So if he can really put the foot down on his consistency throughout a race distance, I reckon Peter Parker could be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's got his first podium last week, and he's invalidated his lap, so he's not going to improve his time. The checker flag has dropped here in Spa. Zephyr, that was close, so he's not going to improve on his time. A few people about to cross the line. We've got one of the Mercedes. Oh, Chris, he's going to see if he can improve off his teammate Scorpion now. Can he get pole? No, he can't. He stays in second place. We've also got a Red Bull that's setting the yellow flags alight right now. We've also got a Williams and Scorpion as well taken out. We've got Patinio about to cross the line in the Williams. Let's see what he can do. He's going to get a bit of slipstream, Scorpion is as well. So, Patinio, can he get any higher? He improves a bit. What about Scorpion? Scorpion does not get pole today. What about Zephyr? Nope, he does not. Lee Hoffner is still about to cross the line as well. We've got two of the Red Bulls. They can't improve. We got the Ferrari as well. Riley Byes is going to be starting in last place, just like he did last time. And Peter Parker has retired. Lee Hoffner goes into fifth. Rayman in 10th. And we just got Dexter. The yellow flag. Who's that?
Dexter moving at the way for Cam now. They were very close. I reckon Cam get the biggest slipstream of the bunch here as he comes up to the line. What will Cam say? And it does not improve. So, I mean, didn't improve by a long shot. But all I'm saying is if that was an official lap from him and he was right behind Dexter throughout that whole back straight at the end, he could have been on for pole. Definitely. That's how strong the slipstream is.
So for the first time this season, Peter Parker in the racing point has got pole position by 1/10 of a second over the championship leader, Chris, and second place in the championship, Scorpion. I mean, it's nice to have, we've had, so far this season, we've had, I believe in Podium, 3 different pole positions. I think Chris got it in the first race, Scorpion got it in round 2, and Peter Parker got it in round 3. And this was the track. Actually, no, this wasn't a track, but I'm interested in the fact about the podium tier that came up in the driver's insight, that Silverstone was the last track that every single driver finished across the checkered flag last season. Since then, there's been retirements in all the other tiers. Will a tier like Podium break it tonight? We'll have to wait and see, as I'll let you take you through the results for qualifying.
Well, in first position, Peter Parker with a stunning lap. Only a 10th behind though is Quiz MP2, Scorpion Hunt MP3. It's nice to see how that will end up as they're in a championship fight. Zeppedo in P4, Catboy Key in P5, Lahofner P6, Kong Hoffner P7, Cam came on P8, Rich 500 P9, TR Bruma P10, Rainman P11, Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I've struggled so much with that name. In P12, Vidino following behind him in P13. The Williams not doing is what they hoped for this season. Dexter P14, TC P15, ST Mats with maybe a disappointing P16, Polish Town P17, and Riley Byes maybe trying to repeat last season. And P18.
I think he might. We shall see. But interesting stats about the fastest sector. Peter Parker got the fastest first sector and the fastest third sector. So we got 32.0 in the first, 30.9 in the third. The only one that's beaten him in the second sector is Chris in P2 with a 52.3. So Peter Parker getting the most fastest sectors, and that got him into pole position, as it's quite overcast at the moment, so these drivers are going to find it very, very tricky. And don't forget, we've got the 2-stop strategy to worry about. If you don't pit twice today, then they will get disqualified, just like old Ponage Town here in the Podium tier did at the very track last season in his debut race. Let's just hope he does not forget it in this track this week.
Well, speaking of the strategy, the only driver in the top 10, Cam, is the only driver on mediums. All the rest of them are on softs, and then the other drivers outside top 10 are TC, SC Mats, and Polish Town. Another voice crack there for you, Jess. Hope you enjoy. But it's going to be interesting. Obviously, everyone's on a level playing field here, unless you've not picked the same tyre, which is only the case for 4 drivers. So it's gonna be all down to pace. Peter Parker will definitely be wanting to kind of pull out a gap early in the session before the DRS gets activated on quizzes. he's having a very fast formation lap. I don't know if you're seeing this, but he's trying to get everyone to move on.
Yeah, I think so as well. And the main reason why I think a majority of people are going soft, medium, starting on the softs, is the softs, they can last quite a chunk around this circuit. According to our little database, it could last 9 laps. And don't forget, this is the longest laps on this calendar, with only 22 laps, which means 9 laps can last a huge chunk of the race, pretty much almost 20 minutes. So I think strongly suggesting going on the soft, then going on to the medium, and then going on the soft, so you get fast pretty much for the majority of the race. Or maybe some of these guys will be predicting a safety car. There were 2 safety cars last season, so I could probably think that it could be safety cars this season. But yeah, if there is a safety car, people on the softs could just go onto the mediums and then turn it into a one-stop, do mediums to soft until the end, and then they will be able to complete their 2 stops. So yeah, I think soft, medium, soft would be the best strategy to go on today.
Well, here we go as the drivers line up in their grid spot. Hopefully we don't see any drivers going in the wrong grid stop, as we've seen that quite a lot in the real F1 as of recent.
Yeah, we've seen quite a lot of people getting damaged as well in El Rouge and Radion. Hopefully that doesn't happen, fingers crossed, and I'll let you take the start. And we're not on lap 2, by the way, the timings are glitched.
And my camera is a bit broken. There we go. As the lights come on, and it's 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and Peter Parker with a very nice start there, but Quest also getting a very nice run into turn 1 round the outside, and it looks like Quest is going to get the position there. Scorpion Hunt and Zeppelin all fighting out for P2 on the grid at the moment, as they make their way down the hill, now up Rouge just shortly. Peter Parker being pushed up the hill by Scorpion Hunt. Quest cutting the corner at Radion as they go, as Peter Parker and Scorpion Hunt go side by side down the straight. Will he keep the position round the outside? Another Mercedes goal, and he does not. And it's contact, and he's took out his teammate. Peter Parker has took out his teammate.
That's like Ocon and Paris in Belgium last season, except it was through El Rouge. And I was going to say before that incident happened, it was a very clean turn 1 and a very clean El Rouge and Radion as well. They just kept it together as well, and I was really happy with that. And you know, I think they were keeping it easy and consistent. So well done to these guys. And Friday is already up into 15th place. Quite a few people have already made positions off the start. Ponage Town gained 6th place, so he's the biggest mover, and the biggest loser is Catboy Key. He's dropped 13 positions. That is not what you want for the Racing Point drive. Obviously he had a collision with his teammate, and that's why Rayman in the Ferrari is showing why the Ferraris are not doing good in real life and on this tier as well, as we've got Catboy Key trying to make a move around the left hand side there. Big swoops. I think, has the Ferrari got damaged there? As that was it might have been a bit of damage. I'm not entirely sure.
Max has damage.
Yeah, that's probably why. So that's why he got past them as well. As Chris said, the fastest lap of the race as we go to lap 3. DRS is enabled in this part. Actually, no,
it's not.
It's lap 2. Oh, it's a long lap, guys. I apologise. That's why I get a bit confused. It's not lap 3, it's lap 2. So DRS won't be enabled this lap. As we got, I think we've got 2 of the Hasses trying to fight. We've got 2 of the brothers trying to fight for position. It doesn't help that there's a ghost one of the Renaults we can see in the background. But here we go. Con Hoffner is going to try and get advantage of his teammate. Is Cam. Oh, careful, Cam. As he goes just past Lecom, and now we're going through Shower. Cam is being stuck in a Haas sandwich right now. As Camel's locked up. That's Con Hoffner saying thank you very much. We now got a Haas 6-7 there. Maybe Lee Hoffner was helping his brother out there.
Well, let's talk about Cam there. He's he's stuck in the same position as where he started after losing that position there, but he's had a really strong start on the medium tyres. Actually, no, he isn't P7 there. It's just fixed itself. but his teammates probably looking to get by now, and if they're wanting to play the team game, Cam should really be letting them by, as they are in different strategies, different compounded tyres. But we'll see what happens there. Up at the top though, Quest is doing what I said Peter Parker had to do, is build a gap from behind, and he really secured himself with a 1 second gap. Oh!
A KK spun in Paul Fair into a Blanchemont, I think, and has he got damage? Did he make, oh, he's got damage. I think it's right wing. I'll check the TAS system actually to see what he got. Wow, his right wing is completely damaged. It is completely off, 100%. So he needs to go into the pits.
Well, that's red damage for his wing there. Let's look back in the fight there. Scorpion Hun trying to make his way back into a second of his teammate, but he's going to be maybe hounded from behind with Pete Parker in this DRS.
Yep, teamwork, mates working together at its finest at this stage, and that's why obviously the team bosses have picked Chris and Scorpion. Well, Chris and Scorpion in the same team, and Scorpion not making many mistakes apart from that lock-up going into Bruce Shell, but there you go, as they go towards No Name as well. Now, Scorpion's got a job to do now. He's got to make sure that Peter Parker doesn't get anywhere near the Mercedes drivers, but Peter Parker's got Zephyr to worry about as well, that also wants to make the move, as Konghoffner has got a 3-second time penalty to add to his list as well. And quite a lot of people's tyre wears is getting a bit interesting, as some people's tyre wears is on 20, most of them I think around about 23 to 27% on the front, on the tyres, but they only have to take it so long and then they can go on to the 10 beams again. So I guess it's not the end of the world. The advantage is they're on a 2-stop strategy, so they can go on to the mediums pretty quickly. And what I've noticed, Brett, that it's getting a little bit on the track. It's less overcast at the moment.
Well, definitely. Maybe the rain is not on its way, but let's talk about Quest and his teammate. Now, I was talking about Quest last week, I'm sure, for doing this. He burnt out all his ERS at the beginning of the race, trying to build that gap, which is smart in a way, but if you cannot build up, especially around here, it's quite a struggle due to it being such a power-hungry track. But his teammates managed to find his way right back in here. If we look at the telemetry for the on my screen here, I don't usually bring this up, but that's 0% ERS compared to his teammates, 19%. Then we look at Peter Parker, who's sitting with 60.
Wow, so Peter Parker is saving a lot there. I think he's just saving it when the opportunity presents itself. And around here, ERS is a very power-hungry track, in a way, if you think about it. In the rain, you won't be using that much, but in the dry, you use quite a lot. So if I was the team Mercedes, you've got to be saving up quite a bit, because otherwise Peter Parker's going to use that overtake button when you're not, and it's going to breeze past you. But surely they've got some team tactics, of course, to try and get this 1-2 today. They're doing ever so well to get it. Still, these guys yet to make their first stop of the race. We've got yellow flag, that's Bruma into, it looks like Puon, almost near Puon. Well, just past Puon actually. It's almost where George Russell and Giovinazzi had it coming together almost. No, actually, it was around here, actually, my bad. Then we got another yellow flag. TC is out of the race. And we got a safety car. We did say, Brett, there was going to be a safety car. And here we are, lap 4. So if I was people on the softs, I would go into the pits. And that's really good timing for the two Mercedes, the Racing Point, and the Red Bulls. I think they're all going to stay out. Well, Scorpion has to, really, because they can't really double stack. So Chris is going to benefit, but Scorpion may have to stay out just a little bit longer. But they can go 9 laps anyway. Scorpion is not, he's going to hope he's not going to have the safety car on for too much longer.
Well, let's talk about the Williams. As you've seen, GR Bruma had a little bit of a scary moment in Puon, but Vitinho really flying the flags for the Williams team at the moment with 8 points compared to Bruma's 0. Bruma sitting in P19 when Vitinho was sitting in P9. Both of them were really hoping, or I believe Vitinho was hoping to go for the title, so he's been one of the most unlucky drivers this season, but also I feel like his teammate GR Bruma needs to be backing him up more if they want to try and have a chance at getting a good position in Constructors.
last season, across all the tiers, Racing Point did not have a good season 15. They scored the least points out of all the constructors. I mean, majority of the Racing Point drivers were dropped and they had to find other teams. And for some of them, they're performing well in different teams which are having less pressure, of course. But, you know, this could be the curse where Racing Point does not score many points this season. Racing Point, I believe, have scored quite a lot of points as time has gone by, being one of the successful teams in One Hub Racing. They've won 1 drivers and 1 constructors, but haven't won any since right now. As I'm just seeing who is not pitted under the safety car. I think everyone's pitted except Pony Town and Scorpion. So quite a few people, in particularly the Renault drivers, pitted on the same lap. But some of them, they were a little bit too further back, so they could double stack. Whereas the Mercedes drivers, they couldn't do that because they would have lost more time than they would have gained.
Well, as we hopefully begin to end the safety car, let's talk about Scorpion Hunt here. As I just got a message, that's why I was quiet for a second. We're on board with him, but I want to talk about this kind of strategy that he has kind of forced himself onto due to not pitting. He's on the soft tyres, so if I was him, I mean, what do you do? He's gonna pit, but that's gonna put him so far down the grid.
Yeah, it may, but I think it'll put him near the back of the grid. I mean, could we see the streak of podium finishes for Scorpion come to an end, really? But, you know, and oh, wait a minute. I see another Mercedes pitting.
Oh, they're doing.
Did Chris get damaged?
No, I know what they're doing. This happened last season. Basically, the safety car came out and people done it. They're 2 stops during the safety car.
Wow.
I mean.
Okay.
I see. Here's one thing. It is so OP if somebody doesn't pit. I think I must have been. We were fighting for the win most likely if Janelle didn't do it. And I think it was Precision Tier last season. And he really took advantage of it, not only in that race but in many others. And it was such a scary strategy because you had to fight so much for the grid, but then everyone just pitted, and then you're on clean air. It was actually one of the craziest strategies. And if Scorpion Hunt can, if Quest can pull it off, he's got a big race ahead of him.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, the Mercedes do it. It's probably going to be one of my contenders for driver of the day. I wonder why Ponish Town has decided not to pit. I guess he does not want to lose track position. He's on the medium tyres though, so that's probably why he's staying out. But don't forget, he's got 2 soft to use for this as well, and he's going to pit more times than most of the other drivers on the grid. So Rayman, SD Mats, Chris, KK, Rich and Dexter, they don't have to pit again. Everybody else will yet to make one more stop. Ponish Town yet to make a stop. Don't forget, if you don't make a stop, you will be disqualified. And we'll just a quick mention on some of our race premium drivers whilst these grid is cut. Actually, no, not mentioning the race premium drivers as the safety car is in this lap, Brett.
Well, let's go on board with Podium Town, slowing up the grid, but again, back to the Mercedes driver, what Scorpion Hunt has now got to do, since he's in the title fight, he's got to put as many cars in as much time between him and his teammate as possible these next few laps, because when Scorpion Hunt makes that pit stop, he wants to make sure that he isn't having to gain too much time on his teammate. He wants to make sure that he can just get the foot down and have himself kind of a secured area where he's going to eventually catch him.
Exactly. Here comes Ponish Town now. He really needs to floor this restart because otherwise there's going to be loads of cars that are going to be chasing him as well. As we've got a great restart. But Zeppa was trying to defend off Lee Hoffner there, going into turn 1 already. Ponish Town 7 tenths off of Peter Parker. That could be good in terms of pit stops if he wants to make this advantage work. Well, he's got to make that advantage work. well, a few people dropping positions from that safety car restart, but always hungry duel. It is clear skies here in Belgium just after that safety car restart, so we're all back to normal here, which means the track and the tyre temperatures are going to be even hotter for these drivers, as Con Hoffner almost was going to have a little bit of a battle between himself and Riley Vise and Catboy Key and Bruma as well, having a 4-car train pretty much. Riley Vise up into 8th place already. Just think, if Riley gains 8 more places, then he's won the race. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see. But my money is still on one of Mercedes taking the win today, or even Peter Parker. Peter Parker is doing astonishingly well already. 8 attempts off of Zappa Doodle right now in 3rd place.
Well, let's talk about GR Bruma after his little incident at pool, and he's really making a recovery drive. Bettino also in P6, so straight away I feel like I've just been proven wrong, but it's still early in the race. They've still got to make one more pit stop, but somebody is went on the gravel trap there.
That is
it's Rainman.
Rayman, the Ferrari driver. That was, I think, just I can't remember what corner it is. I should know because I know the track at the back of my hand, but yeah, Rayman's down in last place.
It's a very weird name. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it because, I'm not going to lie everyone, I'm not even that good at English, and I am born in Scotland, so just put that in perspective. Let's talk about Peter Parker though. He's really sticking out with Pollage Town. Pollage Town struggling to get the gap, but at the same time he's not using too much ERS, so he's playing a lot more smarter in the ways of which Quest did, where he just burned it all off. Scorpion Han though sitting in P11, so doing exactly what I said, building that gap to Quest, and Peter Parker's looking to make a move. Kong Hoffner.
Oh my god!
Was that bad?
That was a massive shunt in El Rouge. His car just flipped like no tomorrow. That was. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about my reaction. I shouldn't have shouted that much. Sorry for any headphone users that are watching, but yeah, that is one hash out of the race, and that's not going to be good for Lee Hoffman. That's going to hope that his brother is getting teamwork. But let's just say the streak is not continuing for people that are finishing. So we already had 2 retirements already, and he's left the session. He's not happy at all. And just a reminder, last season in Podium tier, I was racing in that as well, there were only 11 finishers. And because of the fastest lap at point outside the top 10, every single driver scored points. Let's hope we don't get more than less than 11 finishes tonight. We hope to get more than that, but we'll see. It's looking like we could see a few more incidents, but we're almost halfway through the race. Ponish Down Tilty's yet to make his stop, and a few people yet to make their stop soon. But yeah, 11 finishes last season in Podium tier around this track.
Well, I'm going to talk about Pollage Town for not that long here, as I will need to reset my mic as it's running out of charge. But Pollage Town losing the position to Peter Parker after Kong Hoffner's crash. We'll say that. But I mean, you're saying it's more like a flip. So we're going to see how that gets on. But his teammate Hoffner's really doing well, sitting in 3rd here. And maybe can he repeat what he done last season, as he's going to make the move on Pollage Town. Moves to the left hand side of the track here. Voice crack again for me. That's absolutely brilliant. Braking at the 100 meter board, getting the move done nice and easy there. And now I need to reset my mic because my headset is going to run out of charge.
Okay, I'll let you do that, Brett, whilst we do that. But there's still some more battles to happen between obviously Catboy Key and Bruma. Wow, that was a lock up there from Bruma going into no, that's not going to do his tyres any good, but I'm guessing he wants to get rid of those tyres very quickly, so I assume that doesn't matter. As Riley has got his first penalty of the session, we're going to see, can Catboy Key do the lunge into Stabilo? Is he going to look? He's gaining, he's going to look, he's got the ERS, but he's not using it. He's not using the overtake button, so he stays behind. Meanwhile, Chris just gets past SD Matt going in past Pro on, and now heading towards, just past Stabilo and now into Paul Frere now. So Chris is now up into 11th place, 2.1 seconds behind his teammate of Scorpion. So he's got a lot of time to find a course. Both the two mistakes, well, Chris has made 2 stops, Scorpion has made 1 stop. Yeah.
Oh, around the outside of bus stop. There he goes in Catboy Key.
Wow.
A very audacious move. He's going to hold it, give Catboy Key the squeeze, but Catboy Key tries as hard as possible, but he doesn't end up holding the possession. Scorpion really doing, again, I'm going to say, doing exactly what I said. Getting a move on, getting as many cars, as much time in between him and his teammate, so he doesn't have to gain it all back.
Exactly. I mean, he's going to be held up by Bruma sooner or later. Bruma is one of the slowest drivers in this team.
It's going to be free wide.
So Scorpion,
it's going to be free wide. Oh my god.
Wide. Free wide into Lecom then. Scorpion's going right into the middle of that, and he's going to see if he can try get past. Oh my goodness, look at.
Oh, wing damage.
Oh, they touch, I think. Wing damage, I think, from definitely from the Racing Point, but I'm not sure about the Williams. I mean, the Williams might have got one too, as the Williams goes fast there, but yeah. Brett, free wide into Lecom does not mix. I was hoping it was going to work, but unfortunately it didn't. The stewards might have something to say on that one.
At the end of the day, if you go free wide, I think it's just a racing incident, no matter the incident, half the time. But it was a bit of a strange one, because Catboy Key, I think Scorpion thought he was past Catboy Key, and Catboy Key didn't want to spin off it. What he done in his teammate, for instance, in lap 1. I don't think he wanted to make a repeat of that, so he took the evasive manoeuvre, went off track, and I don't think Scorpion hadn't really seen that coming as quick.
Oh, Chris is off! That's through Paul Frere again. Did he just have a spin or something? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it is right front wing completely gone. His race has gone from good to worse here around the Spa. He has to pit, surely. I think Mercedes 1-2 that we could be expecting here today is pretty much over. It's all now down to Scorpion Hunters to get the points for the Mercedes team today.
Well, the man that was on a mission with that different strategy, it's really bit him in the bum, I think, because the hard is really struggling to get going. I was noticing, I'm going to see what other driver is on it here, but Zeppedo, yeah, he's not really been able to attack anyone in this kind of session so far. Neither has ST Maz, and I've not really seen much from Rich during this stint, so as much as it's going to help them long term, it's not actually letting them kind of stick with people, well, or even push past them.
Yeah, exactly. I was a bit shocked that Zeppa went on the hard. Hopefully he does not forget about the 2-stop, because usually if they go on the hards, that might usually think they want to take the hard to the end, but that's not one stop strategy. So Zeppa, if you're listening, you need to pit very, very soon.
Well, Pete Parker flexing his muscles up in P1, just making, or kind of making the gap bigger almost every corner on Lahofner at the moment. Bettino getting a 3-second penalty. That's not going to be good at the end of the race, but we'll see how he gets on. His teammate doing the exact same, so it's always nice to see.
Yeah, that's incredible that two of those teammates are working together, of course. But yeah, Rayman's now going to try and make a move past Catboy Key, which he does. That was amazing, actually.
It was very. Oh,
Rayman, he's going on the combat. It's Catboy Key.
I don't even know what happened.
That was a bit confusing. I've got to say.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I was a bit confused as well. But anyway, Pony's Town is making his first stop. He's dropped way down the grid now, into 15th place. Now around him, most people have done their 2 stops, apart from Catboy Key. So he is going to probably be in this position for a long time. But you know, he just wants to play it safe. There's a little bit of a slide there going towards the pit exit there, but at least he didn't cut it, of course. But here we go. Riley buys on Zeppadoodle. It again just goes to show the hard sides are not the best around here. And look, we got the
Scorpion.
Scorpion. It looks like it's going to be free wide again. Please don't make it free wide into Rushawa. No, this is not going to work out. As there's a little bit of a lock up from Riley buys there going into there. But yeah, I think Scorpion decides to stay out of that one because he doesn't want to get involved in instance so far. But look at the gap between first and second. 4.8 seconds between Peter Parker and Lee Hoffner. We could see a different race winner in Belgium tonight. We've had quite a few different race winners in One Hub around the the Belgium track, and Peter Parker is looking like to be one of them. I'm just trying to find actually who has won as well as Rice. We had Riley, Janel, Louis, Westy, Lukey, and I think those are the only ones that are still racing that have won a Belgium Grand Prix. So Peter Parker could add his name to the list here. He's looking really, really strong.
Well, building that gap over, I think it was 2 laps there, where Lehofner was only 3.7 seconds back. Now he's 5 seconds. As
That's just amazing.
SC Mats, nice and easy down the inside of Bruma there, locking up both tyres, and Rainman's also going to get it down at the inside, getting actually done before the corner there.
Yeah, more people making evasive action and trying to keep it clean. I think for most of these guys, they've kept it very, very nice and tidy around here. Usually I find in podiums here, they all get on really nicely as well, as we've got Rayman trying to make another move on SD Matt. Here he goes into the Camel, excuse me, into the Camel straight. Can he do it? It's going to be free wide again, oh for goodness sake. But this time Rayman holds it on, and Rayman is up into P8. Wow.
TR Bruma follows him through. Oh, and that was a half slide from Bruma. But SC Matt did get kind of abused there down that straight. Rayman tapped him onto the grass, and then Bruma kind of came through and just pushed him wide. So the people on the hard tires really just getting bullied off the circuit at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's I think the hards are losing a bit of grip as well. Zephyr, if I was Zephyr, go on the soft tyres. Go on the soft tyres to the end. He'll make it. It'll be fine. He'll gain a bit of time. You could still get the point for the fastest lap outside the top 10. Maybe that's what he's waiting for.
There's only, I believe there's only 2 people that are yet to pit. Or no, sorry, I believe there's only 4 people that have done their 2-stop. That's what I meant to say. I don't know what I was trying to say, but Quist is the only man on 3-stop, sitting in the back. But here goes ST Mats trying to get a little bit of revenge, maybe on Bruma. Bruma's giving him absolutely no space, but has to possibly give up the position. Bruma does hold it though, round the outside, down the start-finish straight now. ST Mats into the braking section right after the 100 meter board. Gonna give it a cut back, straighten up the car as soon as possible. On the throttle also as soon as possible, and is now gonna follow Bruma down at the hill, now heading up a Rouge here. As there was a little slide here from Bruma, that is one thing I would like to mention, as he's seeming to struggle on traction, but ST Mats moves to the left hand side of the circuit with DRS, and he's gonna get the move done nice and easily before the braking section. Very nice. Yeah, there's problems going on for behind. That was Catboy Key and I'm not going to try it again.
A Catboy Key and a KK.
Yes, thank you.
Don't worry, you will eventually get the name right, even if I have to record an audio clip for you and you repeat it until you get it right. But yeah, we're pretty much almost not that long to go until the end of the race, and we've only had 1 safety car so far, no BSCs right now. Zephyr's got a 3-second time penalty due to multiple warnings. That's a bit of a shame, so that could affect his race. Now last week the penalties were a bit inaccurate on the TAS system, but I think it's working alright this week. So Peter Parker's got 3, so has Lee Hoffner, so has Vitinho, Riley Byes has also got 3, Zephyr, Scorpion has got 3, SD Max has got 6, there's a lot of moves going through the bus stop chicane actually. Bruma has got 3 seconds, so it's a KK got 6, Catboy Key has got 3, as we got Mercedes coming was trying to make a move there. I think it was Scorpion actually on Riley, so Scorpion up into 5th place. I think the only ones to not get penalties at the moment, I will check race threats to make sure it's correct, is Dexter, Rayman and Cam. Well, I thought Cam got a penalty, but I'll double check that.
Well, I was going to mention the biggest gainer is Riley Byes once again coming from last, now sitting in 5th position here, and he's really had a good race. I mean, he's making overtakes left, right and centre, and is looking to shape up another move on Vitinho.
Yeah, looking good, all of these guys for a potential. This is going to be a really interesting battle for the podiums. I've got to say, they've all got a similar amount of stock to make, and it's potential for who's going to blink first. If I was stuck in traffic, maybe Scorpion will want to pit first. Riley has had a compromise there. Scorpion's going to have a lunge into Sabalos. Riley closes the door quite nicely, actually, going through there and says, you're not getting past me. I want to get a podium, even a win. So Scorpion is being challenged quite a bit here to try and get those lost points that Mercedes could have gained. So Scorpion could get it through the bus stop chicane here. We'll have to find out. Scorpion's got less ERS than Riley, so Riley's going to defend for his life. If I was Riley, I would use the overtake, as that's what Scorpion's going to do. Here comes Scorpion around the inside. He's going to take evasive action here. He's going to go side by side. It's now going to be the outside. Scorpion, I think, gets it done. But there's still going to be one, excuse me, going one side by side into the source here.
Oh.
Riley's going to get the cut back. We got the Red Bull in there as well as Zephydoodle on the hard tyres. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. There's a little bit of a touch there. Oh my
side
God,
by side,
Zep's
upper
doing
rouge.
well.
Oh, and there's a spin.
No.
Zephydoodle into the wall. But I think he's at. Oh, and he's lost an end plate. Oh, that. I mean, you can't do much there. You can't really put anyone to blame. But we kind of knew that was going to happen. I was actually going to mention how clean the battles have been so far, and I mean, I would say like that's not really dirty or clean. It's just one of these things that's going to happen. It's 50-50 chance really heading up a rouge, but I don't know. Maybe that just wasn't smart from Zephydoodle.
Yeah, and what I've noticed on this game, as a few other commentators have pointed out as well, and what I experienced in Brazil last season in the podiums here, if you try to go for a move on the inside and you're like 2 or 3 abreast, then the one on the inside is going to be the one that suffers if he tries for the dive bomb and then does not work. So that's probably what Zephyr has done, and that's what caught him out a little bit going through Eau Rouge, and he spun. It could have been a lot worse for the Red Bull driver. He has to pit anyway for the sauce, but you know, I mean, you know, it could have been worse. It could have been out of the race, but at least he's still going. He still could get a point for the fastest lap, which is better than nothing. And I'm very intrigued that there's quite a lot of people that have not made their 2 stops, as Vitinho is going to be the one that blinks first. I'm sure Scorpion and Riley are going to respond to that. Vitinho having a quiet race, but he can still be in the challenge for the podium too. So here he goes on to the soft compounded type until the end of this race, and it's going to be extremely fast for these final few laps as he goes on and goes out the pit lane.
Well, speaking of outside the pit lane, Rich 500 has been trying to set up a move on GR Bruma for the time being, and it's really, since being on the hards, and like I was saying earlier, they can't make overtakes. I don't know what it is, but the grip just isn't there. But he's going to finally get the move done, I think, now around the outside of GR Bruma. Bruma does not fight it too much and lets Rich go for the time being.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Rich there. And to be honest, there's a lot of contenders for driver of the day at the moment. There's a bit of a look-up from Rich. This could be Bruma's chance to get the move again. And Dexter's right behind this as well. He could possibly have a sniff of a World Championship point at the end of this as well. I'm going to wait and see if the likes of Peter Parker is going to go into the pit. Peter Parker has nothing to lose going into the pits right now. The pit loss around this circuit is around about 18 seconds. The guys behind you are going to pit as well, so you're almost likely that Peter is going to be in the lead of this, and Peter stays out. So let's hope that the guys in front pit, because otherwise he might have timed his strategy wrong. Hoffnet is not going in the pit. Cam is not going in the pit. Scorpion and Riley are going to go side by side, but Scorpion didn't need to do that anyway, as Riley goes and does his 2 stop. I'm worried that Riley might have made contact with Scorpion there going towards the pit, but he didn't, so that's all good. It shows no damage on my screen.
Well, as Riley makes his way into the pits for his final stop, equips the soft tyres, and now it's time to see some Riley by his action. He loves making moves, and the soft tyre is probably his favourite, to be honest, especially around here. So we'll see how he gets on. Only a few laps remaining. He's got a big task ahead of him.
Yep, he has. Unfortunately, he's not going to get the win today, but we got another battle happening into Radion, into the Camel Straight. Coutinho's going to get it before you even get to Lake Com. That's how confident he is. Let's see if Campe could challenge him on those soft tyres. Nope, he can't. Coutinho goes and gets the move quite comfortably, actually. Both of them have pitted quite recently at the same time as well. These three are going to have a very interesting battle, I can tell you that right now, as we're just going to have to wait and see as we've got a final few laps to go of this race. I'm just seeing if anyone's been lapped yet. No one's been lapped yet, which is great to see, obviously due to the safety car period as well. I can't call who's going to win this. At the moment it's looking like Peter Parker's going to win, but Peter Parker is yet to make a stop.
He's in.
And yeah, Peter Parker is in. Lee Hoffner's got to either pit this lap or next lap in order to respond to that, and he goes in as well. I think he saw Peter Parker go in and he wants to go in too. Scorpion Hunt, he does the same. So I'm going to see, and Rayman, obviously, that's going to be interesting for Raymond. He doesn't have to pit again.
Oh,
and I'm just seeing about the tyres. Let me just have a look quickly. The mediums can last 14 laps. It's a bit touch and go for the Ferrari. I doubt the mediums are going to make it to the end of the race. You may have to do a bit of short shifting maybe to try and get it, but the ones on the softs are going to be incredibly faster. The gap, let me just look at the gap between them. It's 2 seconds. 2 seconds between Rayman and Peter. The win could still be Peter Parker's.
Riley. On it, Scorpion Hunt, he's going to try and make the move back. Moves to the left-hand side of the circuit here, down at the straight. Will he get the move done? Yes, he does. And
wondering what's going on. Where have you been? There's been some really just fantastic. As Peter spun!
No.
Peter spun! He's made a mistake by himself into poo. Oh no! It could have been his first win at One Hub Racing, and he just bought it on his own. And I think he's got a puncher as well. Actually, no, he's not. He just spun there. He's dropped all the way down into 4th place. I think he just over-committed himself. He just went on the power too early, and that just hurt him.